news about the Tatar horde was brought to Ukrainian lands by the Polovtsians. Princes gathered for a military council in Kiev and decided to stand together against the new enemy. On the Dnipro, the militias of Kiev, Chernihiv, Smolensk, Kursk, and Putyval joined forces. Soon, troops from Volhynia and Galicia arrived, coming on thousands of boats. Polovtsian Khans with their warriors also gathered from all directions. Everyone assembled near Borazki Island, now known as Gotitsia, and from there they marched to the city of Oleshny. Here, they met envoys from the Horde and, persuaded by the Polovtsians, killed them. The Rus stopped on the banks of the Dnipro, and the Tatar vanguard also arrived there. Mstislav the Brave, with 1,000 warriors, routed the enemy's vanguard. Emboldened by victory, the princes crossed the Dnipro and, after 9 days, reached the Kalka River. Mstislav of Halych began the battle. He crossed the river and, without warning the other princes, charged at the Horde. He was supported by the brave Danilo Romanovich of Volhynia and Oleg of Kursk. Danilo, wounded in the chest by a spear at the very start of the battle, kept on fighting the enemy. The princely army began to press the enemy, but the Polovtsians hesitated and, panicking, started to flee. They even destroyed the camp in the rear as they ran, where the regiments of Mstislav of Chernihiv were stationed, who had not yet managed to prepare for battle. The Rus army could no longer hold its ground. Danilo fled along with the others. Stopping his horse to get a drink, he realized that he was wounded. 6 princes, 70 renowned warriors, and a great many soldiers tragically died in the fierce battle, and even more perished during the chaotic retreat. 10,000 Khievans alone were killed in this devastating conflict. The Polovtsians, who had previously sought protection from the invading horde among the Rus, and who had drawn them into a war with the Tartars, were now killing Rus warriors and taking their horses for themselves. Mstislav the Bold, after having crossed the wide Dnipro River by boat, ordered that all the vessels be burned so they wouldn't fall into enemy hands, and then he rode off to Halych. On the banks of the Kalka River, in a fortified camp perched high on a cliff, Mstislav of Kiev remained. He saw the retreat of the Rus troops and the Polovtsians, but he did not move from his place, waiting for the enemy. The Tatars began their assault, but after 3 days of fierce fighting, they still could not prevail. Then they offered to release Mstislav and his knights from the fortress for a ransom. The prince agreed. Enraged by the desperate resistance and the killing of their envoys, the Tartars slaughtered all the prince's warriors and suffocated the princes themselves under boards. They feasted hungrily on the bodies of their victims. The Horde relentlessly pursued the fleeing fugitives all the way to the Dnipro River. But then, after suddenly encountering no resistance anywhere, they turned back toward the east.